Well, this is Liam on Lahinch Beach. I've been posting a lot of videos recently of diggers and work going on here. A lot of people at home and abroad are asking questions about what's going on, so rather than answer everyone individually, I'm making this video to showcase what's going on in Lahinch. So yeah, if you recall, back in 2014 a lot of storms hit Lahinch and tore up the promenade, damaged some of the buildings, and basically it's decided that work needs to happen to protect Lahinch town and the buildings there. So recently a lot of work has happened towards the north end of the prom, where rock armour has been put in place to protect it, and most of the stuff community are fine with this. I think there's still better ways you could do it, but this is probably the cheapest way with this kind of rock armour, and it's what was approved, so that's going ahead. And we're definitely not protesting any of the rock armour in front of Lahinch Beach or the promenade, although I still think it could be done better, but we're definitely not objecting to that. So yeah, work is continuing there day by day as it moves slowly north towards where I live and where I'm standing. So yeah, so recently work just began in front of the seawall here, which is beside the N67 and the road to my house up there. And over the last 2 years we've been kind of getting in contact with council saying there's health and safety issues with this, because this is one of the areas we get in when we surf the reefs here at high tide. The only safe place to get in is actually in front of this seawall. We used to scurry up this little kind of slipway thing here or down the end. At high tide, the beach and over here it's really dangerous to get in, as many of you know. So yeah, work began here, although for the last year has been trying to get them to make some adjustments to protect this seawall without putting rock armour in front of it. Like, they've done a small amount of work there, and the council basically, I wouldn't say ignored us, but disagreed with us or decided this is what they wanted to do. They definitely said that we should have made submissions before 2016, but nobody from the town or any of the businesses made submissions. I don't think a lot of people knew that the plans had been put forward until after they got approved. So yeah, we essentially stopped some of the work taking place here by coming down public access to the beach still. So we went down and kind of stood in front of the tracks where the diggers are going over here, and they basically turned around immediately and started working back down at this end of the beach. And in fairness to all the workers, they're really nice. They want to make sure everything's safe, and for the time being they have plenty of work to do down here, so I don't feel like we're disrupting them too much. They can work down in front of the loonies. We just don't want them to put rock armour here, essentially. Met with the engineers from Clare County Council pretty much after we did this. In fairness, they're communicating with us. They're now looking at ways in which they can protect the seawall and the road above it without endangering surfers, which is what we want, and I feel that can be done. Also what happened, which was unfortunate, you see this kind of rock pool here. This actually didn't exist, this kind of long rock pool here. When the diggers were approaching this area, it was quite uneven, the reef, and there's kind of boulders, so one of the diggers just randomly decided out of his own accord to dig up this part of the reef. I literally watched him do it, slam the reef with his digger bucket and break up the shale, and then spread it to make this little temporary road, you can't really see it there, along this area to make it easier for him to access. And I think he messed up there. I think he knows that. Talking to construction workers, they realised they shouldn't have done that. They damaged some of the rock pools and stuff and the natural reef, which they weren't supposed to and wasn't in the planning. But I actually don't think they're going to do it again, but can't take it back, unfortunately. Yeah, I just want people in town to know as well that, like, I want to see the town to be safe from the sea. I also want this road to be safe. This is the road to my house. There actually isn't any sea erosion taking place here. However, this embankment, which is separating the road, is slowly subsiding. I'll actually walk down to it now. All the drains from this road are coming out through this embankment of soil, and it's actually slowly, the soil is being carried away, sediment, and if this keeps continuing, it's endangering the road actually collapsing. So it is in the plans to reinforce this embankment, put some drains in, or divert the drainage so it isn't subsiding. You can see here it hasn't actually rained in a couple of days. There's actually still water coming out from the side of this embankment which is, you can see this section has subsided. The council have put in some drains, but I think what they're actually going to do is divert all the drainage away from this area and then reinforce the road like they've done here. I think the big stalemate at the moment between the council and the surfers is the integrity of this seawall. It's been here since the 40s, and actually it's barely changed at all in my lifetime, and I feel with very small maintenance the seawall can be kept up. To me it's very strong at the moment and would stand another 80 years, but I understand the council have to stand over it and say that it's safe, and they don't want the road to collapse, as do I, because I live up that road and I need the road to go surfing as well and whatnot. So hopefully that clears up what's going on for some people. Again, I think everyone in town are on the same side. Like, surfing is a big economic value to the town, as is the beach as a whole, and we definitely want to keep things civil and communicate with the council and other users of the beach, etc. But at one point we did obstruct further work happening up here, but literally I did that, and 30 minutes later there's an engineer down from the council talking to me, so I feel it was worthwhile. At the moment the construction workers have told me anyway that they're only carrying out work down here for the time being, and hopefully some kind of agreement can be arranged. So we're not really doing any protests or anything at the moment, but we want to ensure safety for surfers getting in and out of the water. It's important for us, the people who live here, but also for tourism surfers coming here, that they can actually get in and out of the water safely. Alright, that's all. Thanks for listening. Bye.